comes. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, Jay.
Yeah.
You know, Jay Peckham.
Absolutely.
It's the most wonderful time of year, again.
Sure. And I just must remind you, after our pre-show conversation, there's no cussing on this show.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Nope, not even remotely.
So here we are. We're back at the Progressive Auto Sales Arena. And yes, we're redoing. Look at people stealing my candy. Go ahead. Help yourself. That's what it's there for. Laura's over here off to the side, and she brought some candy. Probably because she knew I'd forget.
That's awesome.
And their Main Street is here. You got your bell?
I do. I can make noise again.
Yeah, because he needs something to make more noise.
Yeah,
and they're here supporting the End of the Good Shepherd here tonight. People are bringing in their donations. So, you know what? When I first, they're doing it again, I was like, oh, does anybody really want to go through? Yes. I'm here now, and I'm reminded the Christmas trees are up, and people are happy to be here. Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. You know what? I love Christmas. You know,
I do too.
For me, it's a family kind of thing, right? So we just had Family Day. Why not have a family holiday now, right?
I'm going to bring candy every game because we've had more people come up here than ever.
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's talk about what we do need to talk about, the elephants in the room.
The elephant in the room.
Is it really? Sarnia Sting taking on the Flint Firebirds again. And then they will be again on Sunday, right?
And I think that's so unfair. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand why we're doing this, COVID, and trying to play catch up and stuff like that. But, man, playing the same team over and over and over again, it's a challenge.
You think that? I don't know. I think I'd almost like it better that way because then I could get it out of the way.
I don't know, because if you're not playing well against a team, I mean, seriously, you want to do it 2 more times? I don't know, 3 more times?
Yeah. Well, I do agree with you, actually, because here's what's happened most of the season, right? We've had a lot of games. You know, there's been the odd back-to-back game like Erie and Sioux, etc., but that's normal. Those weekends happen.
Typically, we have a couple.
We typically had a lot of spread out going on there. You'd have maybe a Sunday game, and then there was another game till Friday. So there's been a lot of spread out. Now
they'd have back-to-back with London over New Year's.
But that was normal stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Now it was spread out, and now it's boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
For the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Is that going to hurt us, or is that going to help us?
Well, and it's a lot of hockey. I mean, frankly, if this was easy, everybody'd be doing it. But I mean, it's not.
We'd have nothing to talk about.
No, absolutely. So to get our guys out there playing 3, 4, 5 games in a week, pretty much back to back just to try and catch up and stuff. Man, that's a lot of hockey. Eventually,
especially if your name is Ben Gaudreau.
Oh my goodness, absolutely.
Right.
You can only stand on your head so long. Well, and you're going to fall over.
Let's go back to the last time we were here and talk about the game against Flint. Of course, a tough loss, 7-3 in the final there. That being said, of course, we're not happy that we lost. But I do think that considering what we were playing with, or rather what we weren't playing with, or who we weren't playing with, against Flint was, the last several years, not a great team.
No.
Even at the beginning of this year, they weren't the greatest team. And now they're the number 1 team in the entire league.
Yeah.
And we take them on without Dillingham, without many others. Dillingham, again, is out again tonight. Ethan Ritchie is out. We've got 5 scratches again tonight.
It's crazy.
I thought, considering that we did play well against them.
Well, I think, we had a period and a half of really good hockey. I mean, it was difficult in the last game coming out and giving up 2 goals really early on. Within the first couple minutes, right?
The first goal was in 45 seconds.
Yeah, 100%. So giving up 2 goals right away, that's hard. But our guys dug deep and came back, tied the score.
Really stepped in there with the goal, right?
Absolutely. Tied the game up.
Yeah.
And then just in the dying minutes of the first period, we gave up 1 more.
Yeah.
It was a tough goal. They were playing well. And then I think we got another really sort of a half a period of good hockey. And then I think that's really sort of where the wheels kind of fell off. And you could see the guys just,
Well, and you talk about that
take the wind out of my sails, man.
I remember, and I think we talked about it, was the first period, like you said, it was quickly 2-0. And I can hear you way over there going, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
And then they tied it up and we went, oh, here we go.
Absolutely.
And then it was, oh, well.
I got a heart condition. I can't handle that emotional roller coaster. I just can't.
I call it stock market hockey. Up and down. Right? And I was over, third period, I was over in the restaurant talking to some of the fans. I love talking to the fans because, boy, they're not kind. They just tell it like it is.
Well, there are some people that don't necessarily filter.
A lot of the comment that I got, though, was should have, because they ended up pulling Ben Gaudreau late third period, right? And they thought that maybe they should have pulled him sooner.
Well, I don't know. And I mean, our backup goalie, this was our 4th-string backup goalie, and actually, he did a terrific job. I mean, I was really happy. But you know what?
Let's play him.
Well,
we didn't have the other two. But if you
put him in too early,
he's our 4th-string goalie.
This is a hard decision.
Way to go play.
Any way you look at it.
First time on the ice, number 1 team in the league. Have at her.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Well, I guess, trial by fire. I don't know.
Timing's everything. I guess.
Timing is everything, and I think that's a hard decision to make.
Well,
to pull Ben and put in that guy. Yeah, and pull in our. I can't even remember his last name is.
Suzrika.
Exactly. Is it Sursika or something?
Yes.
Anyway, I think he played really well.
I thought so too.
But you know what? I think with the time that he had, he played well.
For sure.
Could he have played well if he was in for another 5 or 10 minutes in the game?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not sure. I don't know. You know what? I'd like to see more of him.
We'd love to go back to the future, right?
Well, but it's tough. I mean, Dylan Grover's out, and Ashton Thornton's been out, and so, how do you go from, Ben Gaudreau being so spectacular to a 4th-string junior C call-up goalie. And you know what? Yeah, let's just throw him in there against the number 1 team.
And he
did well. I'll give him
came off
props.
the ice with his head down. He was like, oh.
Yep.
So Coach Alan Letang at the post-game press conference was asked a question similar to what I said. Where you actually was Barry Wright said, I kind of saw you and Gaudreau kind of nodding at each other, waiting for the signal. And Coach Letang said, we were really waiting for the right time. Because I know people thought should have pulled him sooner, but we were waiting for the right opportunity.
For sure.
And because Flint had so much control of that puck, there wasn't an opportunity. It wasn't. No. So I think what he was saying there is timing's everything in that.
I agree. Timing is everything.
Are you ready for it? Yes. Well, should we? Do we want to get him out there? Yeah. But you can't just go, okay, come on. So I think there's that factor to look at too. I do think that, yes, he played very, very well for a 4th-string goalie. It'd be nice to see him out again. I don't know. Maybe we'll see him out there again tonight.
I think so. I think, what, honestly, the biggest story over the last little while for me, Dave, has really been I'm starting to really sort of, I guess, question maybe the conditioning of the guys. Okay. Because, here's my gig, right? We got a lot of good talent on this team. Don't get me wrong.
100%.
We've talked about it.
I don't think anybody would disagree with that.
I'm not. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not here to judge that. But you know what? We're playing the top teams that are playing that sort of super aggressive style of hockey. And the question for me is, how well are we taking that? And the problem for me is, we got a lot of guys out that are injured. They've dealt with frustration. There's some misconducts and things like that. And so, you know what? And I'm just thinking, like, with the number of guys that we've had out over the last couple of months, because we're playing these top teams they're beating on us, And then the question is, why are we not being able to take that as well as maybe some of these other teams?
Well, I think a part of that, I would say,
is it
and
a
I don't like
conditioning question? I don't know.
Well, I don't know the answer. I had a conversation just yesterday with a friend of mine, and he said something similar, and I was like, And he goes, don't pull the rookie card on me. And I'm like, well, I don't want to pull that rookie thing because we do have a lot of rookies there. We've mentioned that several times. Like, we got, like, I don't know, about 10 of them on there. Brand new.
Yeah,
ice.
100%.
Hello, brand new ice. Brand new. It's a whole new game out there.
Yep.
And you got to learn to take a hit. You got to.
Absolutely. And to give it at the same time.
And to give it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. I want to say that maybe that's part of it. Maybe those young guys. There's a couple that are in there that aren't afraid to, but I think maybe that's part of it.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at, like, I mean, we got a guy like Dill who's out, and I mean.
Well, I was just going to say, but then when you've got somebody like that, leadership is gone. So who's leading on the ice right now for the
And that's another great question, Dave. And I don't know, because that's an even harder question to answer.
Well, we've
without
seen
us
leadership
being
from
in
Ethan
the
Ritchie, but
locker
now
room.
Right?
And Ritchie's out now too.
Off,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, if I'm the young kid I'm the new kid at school.
Yeah.
Who do I go to for protection?
100%. Well, and it's not even protection. It's just a matter of
who
am I looking to help me better understand the game, what I'm doing wrong, where I need to be, and stuff like that. We've talked about that thinking hockey and seeing
the where it
mistakes.
needs to be is another big question as well too. Like, we all know you're supposed to be where you're supposed to be, but Wayne Gretzky always said you got to know where everybody is at that moment. That's the key right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think we've seen a few games there, pre-Flint, where we did see them pick it up, and they were on top of the puck. And when they weren't picking it up, the other guy was there to pick it up and carry it on. But I'm not sure that's and I don't want to sound like that subject that's really been broken, but that consistency factor. The consistency is not there. The energy is not always there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that lack of energy is coming from there's missing leadership, or we're just really tired now because of all this hockey. Like, there's always a ton of variables that come into this hockey game.
Absolutely.
But this year has added so much more because, like you said at the beginning, all this back to back to back, and it's like that the rest of the season, Jay.
Yeah.
So
and we had the problem with the COVID cohort, right, where there was a year where we would have had a good complement of overagers, and they just aged out. So I mean, we couldn't even play them. So then we're talking about guys who missed a year, and they're coming in. They're now our overagers, but they didn't. They're missing that benefit of that extra year in there. And I think that's equally a problem, and that's probably a problem for a lot of teams.
I mean, Coach Letang even mentioned it kind of felt like training camp.
Yeah, and there are elements of that.
There's still a lot of I guess there's still a lot of learning going out there on this team.
Yeah.
And you've said it before. We're trying to figure out who can play with who, but it's really hard to figure out who can play with who when they're not there half the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Well, and you're absolutely right. And I think, I'd love to see what happens with this team, when we're back at, a little closer to full strength and stuff. Because, it's true. We do have some talent on our team. We certainly got some goal scorers. We got some guys who can control the puck. We have some of that leadership material that we keep talking about. We've got some well-conditioned young men, who once they're, back in the lineup and, their arms aren't broken and junk, we can,
we can, again? Yeah, all that stuff.
I think it'll be a little more exciting when we get to that point. We'll see what happens.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens here tonight. We're about 8 minutes away from the Sarnia Sting getting ready once again to take on the Flint. I think we're going to see a little. There's got to be a different strategy here tonight because we're similarly in the same boat that we were the other day.
Got to come out strong. That's that's going to be the secret, right?
Well, yeah, right away because Flint has to go back after last game too and go. Okay, it probably felt easy.
Yeah.
Right? They can't get complacent either because after everything we just said, we have seen the Sarnia Sting come back really positive.
100% we have.
The toughest teams in the league. London's a really great example.
Yep.
Play like you're playing London, guys.
Yeah.
We'll see if that helps us out.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll be back. I think Jay Peckham. Laura is here. I'm not sure if she's joining. She's got all the kids here tonight. So
wow.
I think it'll just be Jay. Sorry. Not sorry.
No, it's all good.
We'll see who's back, but
I'm sure I'll have an opinion.
likely Jay will have an opinion. I'm getting better at having one, I think.
No, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, we'll see what happens after this first period. Shout out to our friends at Hughes Intelligence for supporting us, and of course, Tourism Sarnia Lambton, and so many of you who watch us. Thanks so much for being here. I'm David Burrows on behalf of my friend Jay Peckham.
Go Sting, go!